kits. I think all of us have seen the rise, and maybe some of you may have already ordered meals from players like Blue Apron, Home Chef, Green Chef, cloud kitchen aggregators of sorts. You typically don't realize where or who your meal is being made by, but you enjoy the meal. You enjoy a hearty meal. This industry also has been on a steady rise. This industry is almost at about 11.6 billion at the end of 2022, and the industry itself is, the way I would put it, is not being limited by the options that are being catered to your table today. They're actually growing in different verticals which transcend again the areas of traditional home cooked food, verticals that get into e-com models of sorts, that okay, can I have a meal that stays good with me for about a month or two, and I can make it with my custom needs and custom aspects. Challenges with cooking, challenges with grocery shopping. The way I put it is, the challenge is not with the art, the challenge is not with how we make food, the challenge is with the way we plan to make food, the way we want to plan for the week, the way we would want to plan for getting the groceries, the way we would want to plan to get, all right, so what is the menu going to look like for the week? I think that's the hardest conversation I have at home. And I think a lot of you do. We are Team Recipe Cup. I'm Rushabh, the CEO and founder of Recipe Cup. I have Bani up here, who's my head of business development. I have Tanya, who's my head of business, in India. And I have then Manjot somewhere around here, right there. He's the operational boots on the ground. We are based out of New York, and we are now entering the Indian market with it, Delhi and Bangalore being our primary base of operations. What do we do, right? I think a lot of you guys have been talking about recipes, so let me talk about a few recipes here. We are on a mission and a vision to almost empower and bring this little known offline industry of home chefs as mainstream conventional food providers. I think that's as simply as I could put. What do we envision as our mission to be? I think we have been tech incubated, tech powered, AI powered. I think we use bleeding edge technologies right from AWS to hybrid cloud to Kubernetes to tardigrade and a bunch of technologies that you guys may have already been using or heard with. These technologies empower today to seamlessly transcend any part of the globe. The beauty of our technology platform is that it's a global platform, which means that compliance, registrations, permits are all the things that we build when we go and enter any new market. And that's the beauty that lies with, I think, any global implementation. Our key offerings, I think what we want to enable every home chef to do is not just monetize by the means of home cooked meals or home cooked food. We want them to transcend again beyond the conventional boundaries of dine-in, delivery, pickups, and so on and so forth. How do we do that? We do that by enabling them to sell meal kits outside the Indian geography and within the Indian geography, of course. We intend them to make their own set of signature ingredients and sell in overseas demand markets. We want to leverage India as one of our supply markets for procuring a lot of these good organic ingredients that can be made right here. We are already doing so by supplying to Whole Foods and Amazon today in the US. We have leveraged quite a few chefs to do that already. We have a chef apparently in Georgia and US who makes this peach marmalade. It's a real beauty, I tell you guys. The peach marmalade only gets sold with Whole Foods from the months of, I think, April through October. When I first presented this peach marmalade to Whole Foods, the question came back that, all right, we don't have a 365-day supply. What are we looking to do, right? And the beauty again lied in the kind of recipe that this chef had curated. It's an age-old recipe that her grandma passed it down the line, and that's how they made it. I think a lot of you chefs here have been doing that. We also enable a nutritional aspect to our recipes. So per se, if there's a recipe that's being made traditionally with a lot of ingredients that a person may prefer or not prefer, that recipe actually goes to our nutritionist. The nutritionist then curates that recipe in a healthier model, in a healthier way, and basically enables the creation of that same recipe with the means of our large pool of home chefs. I'll now talk about our USP feature, which is being introduced, I think, for the first time in the industry, is ability to sell recipes. I think we have all seen Google, favorite resource, go-to resource to get our free recipes from. What we perhaps have not seen is signature recipes belonging to signature chefs, and how could those be recreated in a different part of the world. And this is where our technology enables them to take those recipes globally. The chefs basically spend a virtual cook-along time with the customer. There are no physical goods that are exchanged in this offering. And what gets created is, again, the knowledge that can be passed. Now, how do we ensure that there's secrecy being built within the recipe of that chef, right? The secrecy lies within the ingredients of those recipes. If the customer chooses, the customer can buy those signature ingredients right on the tech platform from that particular chef. And I think that's where our implementation skyrocketed. That's where we are seeing an entire new generation, I think the Gen Z, as we call it, procure these recipes. Our party coming up, there are several business cases that I've seen at least in the last year or two alone, and that I want to recreate this recipe that has been being made in a different part of the world altogether. So with that said, I think I would like Bani up here to talk a little bit about how we intend to capture this market. What is our plan to actually go into different segments, different areas, and how do we want to see us proliferate in that part?
So the first idea is that we'll have a combination of solutions. Like any other startup, we have been in a roadmap to figure out what's working for the market. But in terms of geographical decisions, what type of permutations and combinations which are working, we want to figure out a platform where we can have a printed recipe, then have some processes with the video and have virtual sessions with the chefs themselves. Then also offer something which caters into the proportion sizes of the particular recipes. Then in terms of having a personalized engagement, we are also suggesting models to have some sort of exotic dishes as well as elements to engage, having a personal brand of a chef on our platform to have alternative ingredients or how to engage the audience to make their recipe, and essentially someone who's sitting in Bangalore, how can they make something from the Bay Area? That's something we are focusing on. Now coming to the categorization of recipes, I think we have to thank Dr. Bangalore here, because he has been helping us to figure out how we can categorize our recipes better. So now coming to our target customers. So, essentially we are trying to bucket it out, but if you see, like the family context have also changed over time. So, one can be a traditional set of a family where everyone is staying at home with their parents, it is a joint family, might be a nuclear one. The other one is the working population, where everyone is independent, they don't actually have time to cook, and that's where, we come to the rescue. Now coming to the next thing, that we also want to cater into how will we fit in a particular consumer cycle basis the kind of lifestyle they have. So the offerings can be subscription based, as well as how can we experiment with some sort of users who are open to testing of new things and their taste buds are evolved, or essentially categorizing it or bucketing it out as we proceed ahead. Then, of course, we want to look into these aspects which will cater into how we can make it more hassle-free and convenient basis a person's lifestyle to make it more convenient, and also appreciate how a person has a want for their overall experience over a price. So our essential target audience would be someone for whom price is actually not a problem, but they would actually want that experience and are ready to pay for it. Now coming to our customer persona. So So these are some of the things we want to categorize upon. We want to focus on healthier options. So someone who wants to, go for a cooked meal, but also, as Rushabh rightly mentioned, how can we plan it ahead in time? Then at the same time, how it can be balanced. How, if from a traditional recipe, we can pick up something which can still be somewhat curated in a shorter duration, and also make it, a lot more personalized for a person in terms of the personalized ingredients which they can have from the chefs. Then planning ahead approach. So how can we have like a subscription-based model? Someone can have the option to customize their menu or the options they'd like to go for the week, perhaps in advance, or may also have some flexibility that, oh no, today I want to have something else. Then actually we have to go towards that novel experience. That how can we recreate those dishes at home? How can we bring in that experience in a person's home, and how it can be further curated? Then in terms of some short customer personas, so there are two mentioned in the slide itself. So someone who would like to prepare ahead in time, and the other one is that it is an entirely a cross cultural dynamic which is at play. So my husband is a Vietnamese, and now we prefer to have Vietnamese, Indian and Thai food. So also bucketing it out further, that if a person perhaps like a Mexican or Indian or Vietnamese, so probably we can nudge them further to go for exploration of these items and menus on their regular basis. Now coming to the crux of it as a business development. So we want to focus on having a healthy relationship with all our home chefs. So we make sure that all of them are FSSAI certified. Then they have a diverse portfolio, because it is okay to say that perhaps the best meal I have is perhaps a dal chawal, but sometimes we can't have dal chawal every day, and perhaps we want diversity. And our chefs are actually very thoughtful in what they are bringing out on the table, and perhaps that's why we spend a lot of time to build these relationships and nurture them as well as how, and they're actually very interested how the customers are receiving the recipes. Is there something we can do better? How can we make the experience better? So they are ready to go that extra mile. Now, and of course, this can only be done when their quality is not a problem. And as I covered earlier on, we are targeting on people for whom price is not a problem. Now coming to the cloud kitchens, so we want to create long-term financial sustainability models who can be competence of the cost. Now in terms of course, if we are in this segment, we cannot let go of the restaurants as well. So we are also figuring out a way to bring a brand building, and also how we can explore further frontiers with them to acquire customers. And apparently, so what we want to do for the customers, we want to deliver them at the lowest cost possible. And I'll just cover it ahead in further slides, that we purely want to play on the volume. Then how in a post-COVID world it has made a further difference. So now I'll quickly cover our competition and what are the qualities which we bring to the table which makes us different from them. One is the focus on quality. We are a marketplace which is quality driven. We focus a lot on the packaging. We want to, sometimes by the time the meal reaches your home, you would feel like you ordered something else, or it is too cold for you to have that personalized experience. To how to make the packaging sturdy and personalized enough, that's something we are focusing on as well. Then how to add that element of price competitiveness, that's also one thing. Then timeliness of the delivery. Say if something has been ordered from the other part of a country, then essentially it would take, say, from Bangalore to Delhi, it might take at least 5 days. But how can we reduce that time is something we are focusing on. Then how to make the food which is being served extremely UX friendly. So if we are hooked on our screens the entire time, and now, I mean, we may pick our own options, but each time we may not have the liberty or the time to always have a curry or a traditional Indian meal, how much as we may want to. Then how can we make our food items more UX friendly, and how to have these signature options of signature ingredients from these home chefs. These are the things we'll be focusing on. So yeah, our bleeding edge, as I covered it, before only, would be a pure play of volume. It is one shop stock solution for all the things we want to do. Then we want to understand the price competitiveness and user friendliness, and our entire model here is on scalability. Hence, the element of AI and ML would come into the picture, and that's what brings us here, to be honest.
So just on the AI ML model part, right, I think I heard a couple of you guys talk a whole lot about that. When you look at our tech platform, and when you look at the AI ML trends globally, we are fast evolving from a predictive model to a prescriptive model, and I think a lot of you will agree on that. At 2 a.m., the system can predict that you want to have a brownie, but should you have a brownie at 2 a.m.? And that's where we are prescribing that maybe having a health bar at 2 a.m. could be a better choice. And that's how we are evolving into that prescriptive model of sorts. We are using some deep algorithms from Kubernetes to do this today. We are fast even upgrading our tech stack towards a kind of a hybrid cloud tech stack where we would use multiple components from different cloud areas and kind of bring them all together. Having said, the one part that I would also call out upon, and which Bani even mentioned up here, is our promise on delivering volume and not just the price. I would say that today, when we prepared this slide quite a while ago, when we prepared it, we did not realize that our sellers were of two kinds. One which played on the price, one which played on the volume. So today we have two segregated sellers that are evolving, one which actually goes into a large scale catering model, and one which goes into a very segregated niche offering of sorts based on the price, and customers for whom that price is no more a concern, but quality is of the top concern.
So yeah, as the first step, authority, making sure that our chefs are certified, as well as we also have all of our legal documents, audits, compliance, everything in place. That's something we want to focus on, as well as the enhancing of the trust in general. So we are legally binded in all the aspects. Our focus will be on the safety, hygiene, quality, as well as the transportation, and making sure that the experience is reached as it is promised to. Then the other aspect would then come out to the packaging. Our packaging is going to be eco-friendly, and we have to make sure that how the food can be preserved in the best way possible, where the nutritional elements are not being lost, as well as the shelf life is realistic, as well as scalable to some extent. Then coming to the reviews, we want to establish the reputation and what would lead us to the higher credibility. Then absolutely, like any other tech platform, we want to make it as hassle-free as possible. We want our marketplace to be as UX friendly. Our searches should be as quick to navigate. Then we should be able to put our vendors on the map. So that would be our focus. Then coming on the discounts and the promos, then what could be some of these ad hoc discounts, some free meals, some freebies which we can bring to enhance the loyalty of our customers. That will also be one of the focus. Then just summarizing it out, how timely delivery would be one of the factors on which we have been working day and out to figure out how can we bring down the cost as well as ensure the quality. That's another point. Now just quickly summarizing everything I covered so far. So these are going to be the plans and strategies. We want to focus on development, how to give the best customer experience in terms of the UX, UI, make sure that everything is secured on our marketplace in terms of all the compliance related issues, have a strategical analytics play, having all the partners and pricing so everything is legally binded, then having the potential strategic partners who could be our home chefs, which is something we are focusing on, some of the independent restaurants, delivery partners, some cloud kitchens. So these are our people we are targeting at the moment. Then coming to the key technology, so how we can use AI, ML, trademark security, payment gateways, and essentially have a cloud storage for all of these would be our focus. Now coming to the overall roadmap. So far we have done a market research. So our first user story was established in 2020, June, where we started understanding how the personas of the users are going to be. Rushabh, would you like to add something on?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just, are you guys able to hear me?
I'll kind of summarize this in a bit more shortened way. I think we started in June 2020. We led our development cycles through the years. We did a lot of research with our collaborator partners like 3M, to kind of develop specific storage containers in which food should not go bad. Food should arrive at the consumer the way it's supposed to arrive. I think a lot of work has been done and has gone into doing a lot of R&D in order to get to the stage that we are at. The stage we are at, our tech goes live end of this December. We start our vendor onboardings on the tech. We have secured one of the key B2B partnerships in the Indian market with Samsung India. We are going to be supplying 40,000 employees of Samsung India with home cooked meals. We are going after supplying of these same home cooked meals at the organization next door, IIT Ghaziabad. We have a similar model that we have been pitching to IIIT-Delhi, and eventually plan to kind of proliferate across universities as our GTM strategy. The one thing that I would absolutely call out before we end, right? Food is a celebration, and I think all of us would agree on that. But food is also a deep science, I think, which Dr. Bagler and his team has been doing up here. I think this is a very interesting area, but it's also a very interesting time because a lot of innovation is coming to the fore with these things. I think leveraging the research that you've been doing with the prowess and the objective goals that we have set as organizations can only be so much more fruitful when research and objectivity comes together. In the US market, our delivery partners have been DoorDash. In Indian market, our delivery partners are Dunzo. High five to my cheetah guys here. So absolutely, looking forward to this. Don't take it as a pitch. Don't take it as our ability to sell. Take it as our ability to share the knowledge that we have gained. And I think we'll only become so much more richer if we get the right inputs and insights from all of you all. So thank you.